That's one thing that tells you that something is, this is really a skunk. There's something smelly about this. Then when he brings the property, the houses into the market, the price that is being, or the price that is being, they are being sold at is such that, one, the Mama Boga and the Boda Boda Ferras are completely out of the picture. We forgot them with the voting. Those were just voting machines. Now Mama Boga, yeye mwenyewe ni boga, tunamkura kwa mesa kila wakati. So now we have forgotten about them because the amount of money that they need to pay for them to be owners of these houses is completely out of their reach. And if you look at what had been done by Uhuru, is the houses were done, there was no housing levy, people were not being deducted, no deductions were being made to the people, and the houses were availed to Kenyans at a much lower price. So you'd want to know why that kind of a scenario, and you can park that there. Then come to this other thing that is even more worrying. Okay. These houses are being constructed on public land. The public land is being taken from the public because you will go, I keep giving an example of a school like Michida. There is a primary school called Michida Primary School in some place in Joro. And I hear that what he did was just to cut a chunk of the rad and say, Jenga hapa. Now, that's okay, but this is a public rad that has been in the hands of Michida Primary School. We cannot see a process that we went through to get the land from the public hands to the private sector, and you have already done houses on it. The question is, again, this person who is doing these houses on the public land is a private investor. We don't hear him compensating the school because of having taken their land. And we also don't hear the regime taking us through the process as provided for in our laws of converting public land into private land. So the other question that you ask yourself is, when you now come and offer the houses for buying, you offer it into the market, and I come and buy the house, what kind of a title do you give me? Am I certain that the title you are giving me, it's not because you are the one in control of RAD's ministry, and it cannot withstand the test of time? There was a very recent ruling that was made by the Supreme Court. Yes. Very recent, maybe a month or 60 days ago, within 3 months ago. And they said that you no longer can go and say that I bought a property. You have the responsibility of carrying out a historical search. So when you go and carry out that search, you will actually see that this piece of property is constructed on a piece of land that was owned by Michida Primary School. So that land is still public land. So you are likely to be holding a title that cannot withstand the test of time. Okay. It may get some coverage by this regime for the time they remain there. But any other regime that comes will find it very difficult not to allow Michida to take over the houses and you become a tenant of Michida Primary School because they own the land and you never compensate them for it. So the least, it's quite murky. And it's very worrying to see this dismissive attitude by William himself, because he's not explaining to Kenyans. And these are issues you need to explain to Kenyans. You remember you are there not to hammer things or to force things down our throats, to umpende muspende. Before you were born, there used to be a man called Sharif Nassir. Na yeye ndiye alikuwa anatuambia mpende musipende, moja tafanya. This is another gentleman who is behaving like the Sharif Nassir of the yesteryears.
So, having spoken to several leaders, especially even on this show, they attribute that these are radical decisions that needed to be made for the country to progress. There has been a timeline. They say perhaps later this year we'll start seeing fruit. Do you not give this government any benefit of doubt at all?
We were told give us 100 days and we give them 100 days. We started by, if you remember how it was 2022, it was insults after insults, and we said, as Azimio, we said, let us just keep off. We kept away 100, we kept away a month, 2 months, 100 days. We gave them a whole year. We are now almost this is the second year and it's coming to an end in a hurry. And in our language, we say that if you are cooking food and you keep adding water every other time, then it is evidence already that that pot will never get cooked. And a good day is known in the morning.